Ready for an adventure that welcomes everyone? Dive into Cache Odyssey. Cache Odyssey is 6 fully accessible geo tours where every geocache is designed for everyone, regardless of their abilities. Each hidden cache tells a unique story, bringing people together on a journey of discovery. So, whether you're a seasoned geocacher or a new adventurer, get ready to experience the thrill like never before.
If you have not become a patron of the Geocache Talk Network, what are you waiting for? Patron levels start as low as a Bison Tube level at $3 a month. To sign up is easy. Simply go to the Geocache Talk website and click on the Become a Patron button, or go to patreon.com/Geocache Talk. Patrons now get the famous Blackout coin, invites to special events, and other really great items throughout the year. Become a patron today. Have you subscribed to FTF Magazine yet? FTF Magazine is the #1 geocaching magazine available. It is a quarterly magazine that you can be part of. Submit your geocaching milestones and adventures to be published. FTF Magazine is also interactive with puzzles to solve and the hunt to find Spartacus. If you can solve the puzzle or find Spartacus, then you will be entered in to win a special pack tag. Every new subscription, you will receive a special swag pack. Subscribing is easy. Just visit FTF's website, ftfgeo.com. Don't miss out and subscribe today.
Logwork, the creators of the fantastic logbook, made with genuine write-in-the-rain paper. The logbook's designed for the micro-containers of the present and future, geared towards the hider who'd rather go caching than doing cache maintenance. Find them at logwork.com. That's logwerk.com.
Calling all geocachers. At artedcrafted.com, we create unique apparel designed by geocachers for geocachers. From custom t-shirts to personalized mugs, our gear lets you express your passion. Stand out at your next event with artedcrafted.com. artedcrafted.com. Gear up for your next geocaching adventure.
All right. Big thanks to our new patrons, Hawaiian Miley, Buzz82, and Captain Math. Thank you to all our patrons for keeping the show on the air. And greetings from Bamarama. Well, Foley, Alabama. It's Bamarama area. Gulf Shores, in case somebody were wondering where Bamarama is on the map. So anyway. All right. Well, let's welcome in my co-hosts and our guest for the night. There they are. Pizza Ninja, Memphis Mafia, and our guest tonight. There he is, the Detrucks crew. Daniel's, hold that up again, buddy, because people are going to want to, you're going to share that. So, yeah, there you go. All right. Perfect. Love it.
Like it.
Very cool.
All right. Well, we got a lot to talk about tonight, so we're going to just dive right in. So here we go. So, John, you get to start. Take it away.
Okay, so guys, you know, some things excite me, like pickle pizza and pineapple pizza. But one of the things that also excites me is Operation Worldwide Cache Hide. I don't know if you guys have heard about this, but we want to make sure all geocachers know about this, because it's time to start designing your cache containers and finding a great hiding spot for the 3rd annual. Can you guys believe it? The 3rd annual Operation Worldwide Cache Hide. How cool is that? So the theme for this year is sci-fi, a theme that I really love. And how this works is there's going to be a mass publication of geocaches, and all the geocaches that are hidden for this, right? They're going to be published on May the 4th, Star Wars Day. So put that on your calendar now, because probably in your area, you're going to have some awesome caches popping up. But right now, for Operation Worldwide Cache Hide, really the big thing is, if you want to be a participant in this, it's going to be a really cool thing. You get a virtual badge that you can put on your profile to show people that you hit it. You're going to have your cache on an official bookmark list of a lot of incredible caches out there. But, you know, really, I just want to let you know on this one, you got to go to geocachingcentral.com, click on Operation Worldwide Cache Hide, and check it out, because it's going to be very, 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 very cool. and I know I'm going to be a part of it myself. So I'm really
That's
excited.
awesome.
You're gonna hide one?
Yeah, absolutely, man. Got the cache, got the artwork all generated from it. I can't wait.
So May the
Excellent.
4th. So that's like Spock and the Klingons and stuff, right?
Sci-fi is like that, Jesse, but May the 4th
He's
usually
just messing with you.
something else called Star Wars Day, if you know Star
Send
Wars.
all hate mail to G Slink and Slinky Mama. And
Not a bit. I love Star Wars, so I'm not the one to send that. You send that to Memphis Mafia.
No. I'm very aware of all three, although I wouldn't rank it at the highest of the 3 star sci-fi movies: Stargate, Star Trek, and Star Wars.
Yeah, you're a Stargate fan.
Stargate's number 1 for me. Sorry, guys. So
and it's okay, Jesse. On here, I mean, just to give an idea out there, if anybody in the Tampa area wants to hide a reverse where I go sci-fi cache, that would be awesome. You would get bonus points for me if you did that.
Yeah. Or hide a challenge that John is not qualified for in his front yard. We're good with that one.
That would be rough.
If we're gonna get mean about it.
Very rough.
Yeah, well, encouraging geocaching nights is part of the game. We all know that.
Jesse's a Klingon.
Klingon. I've been called worse. I like the I like the sci-fi theme for this year.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
That's a good one. I might have to do that myself.
Yeah.
Patty Cake, she likes Stargate too. So she's in.
Absolutely. But yeah, everybody just put it on your calendar right now. Go to geocachingcentral.com. Put it on there because on May 4th, guaranteed, a lot of awesome caches are going to publish all across the world on this.
I've got a cache.
Yeah, there you go.
It's a 3D printed Stargate cache.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Oh,
You're ready to hide.
May have to finally hide that
You got to do it.
on May the 4th just to make people mad.
That would be awesome.
It's sci-fi. It's sci-fi, so it fits that sci-fi.
Confusing.
Nanu.
There you go. Oh my goodness. All right. John, switch gears, buddy.
Gears. Different topic.
Okay,
So,
go ahead.
yeah. So I don't know if you guys saw the news from HQ, but the first treasure collections are coming. And the crazy thing, they're March 17th, right? Which is actually almost a month away, believe it or not.
Wow.
But I don't know if you guys read about how these are going to work. There's actually going to be 2 collections. The first collection, there's going to be 4 treasures in that collection, and all you need to do is log 4 traditionals for that collection. And after you do that, right, that then unlocks the second collection. And there's going to be 5 treasures in that second collection, and how you earn those is finding and logging any type of geocache that's a difficulty of 1.5 or lower on that one. So these are kind of like the start to treasures to kind of get it up and running.
Before anybody starts trashing that, because I know it's super easy, they clearly told us they're doing an introductory one to see how it goes.
They did.
Absolutely.
And you got to remember 1.5, and I know it's hard for us to think back and remember this, but 1.5 is what's available to non-premium members, right?
Yeah.
That's what they're doing. They're showing this is a wide-ranging one for everybody. So they said they were going to do an introductory one, see how it goes, test it out, and then make them more unique later. So
yeah.
Simple though.
I like that though, because the one thing I have to question on this one, and I don't know the answer, because does this mean like these collections are out here forever, like this point forward?
That's what I understand. It's an introductory collection.
Okay.
You know how HQ does. They want everything to be available to everybody no matter when you start the game, right?
That makes sense.
I suspect that they will, just like they do with the 25 that's going this year and everything else, they will have many opportunities for these to go. It'll be an ongoing challenge for anybody getting into the game. It's not one of those like, if you don't do it in 25, it's over kind of deals, because that excludes so many people. And they, I think they're always going to be available. That's my guess.
Okay. That's my read too. That's my read too on this one. So it's interesting too, because they put it, so you can't bundle, you know what I mean? So you get one collection, it opens up the second collection.
This one does,
yeah. So I have to wonder if they're all going to be like that, but I guess we just got to wait and see and find out.
But see, they could do a lot with this though, and not to get a sidetrack, because we get so much to talk about. But if they do that, people coming into the game, if they want to get those collections, they could really take them down the route of, okay, now we want you to find these other ones. You can't get the badge for hiding a cache, or the collection for hiding a cache until you found one of each type.
Yep.
Or
Yeah,
until
I
you
agree.
this, so they could really tailor some education to this.
Sure.
For any time somebody comes into the game, I think that would be a good move that they could do.
Yep.
But we could get on this all day long, so I'm not going to.
Yeah,
I'm
absolutely.
I'm
with you, but it's
That's for another show. We'll use that for another show for sure.
Yeah, but it's cool to see it coming out, and then help out your friends, because on this, these are good opportunities to put some hides out too.
Yeah. So quick update on our Cache Odyssey coins. Some of them available. I put it in the show notes. Etsy.com/shop/Geocache Talk Shop. They are. Loop 1 is still out there. I think Loop 2 is. Loop 3 is sold out. We will buy more to sell of Loop 3. We have tentative plans to make a Loop 4. We just haven't gotten there yet, but we've decided to go ahead and make some. So anyway, again, Loop 1 is out there if you want to go ahead and get it. In Loop 2, my suggestion is to not wait to get all the Loop 1, 2, 3, and 4 at the same time. You can if you want, but anything you buy now, though, will help us purchase the replacements for 3 and 4. So
limited run is the way to describe this.
Yep.
Very limited.
But it helps us out because that money will then go, because we got to buy the coins to sell the coins. So you get the idea.
Well, and how cool, because so many people for years have been like, there should be a better coin, for
there
this.
it is.
And there it is. And just to see from right there, how cool that looks.
Yeah, it's a big coin. Big old coin right there. Solid.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, very cool. Yeah, I think they turned out great. Chris Mackey does such a great job of designing those that, well worth it. Okay, last item in the news, and I swear we're going to move on, and that is
Oh man, did a cat get Gary's tongue?
Yeah, I don't know if it was just my computer or not. I think he's.
Gary froze, not me.
Yeah.
I don't know. Jesse, do you want to talk about what you're going to talk about?
Gary, you were frozen up for all your news. So try it again.
Okay, sorry about that. I'm back. Where did I leave off?
You didn't. You said, "Here's some news," and then you disappeared.
And I disappeared.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
So nothing.
I'm in the hotel. Who knows how this is working here? So, so quick update from Bamarama. Again, we're going to talk more about Mez soon on a future show, but I'll give you a quick update. Despite our weather issues, I think we had a great week. The planners of Bamarama did a great job. No mega or block party goes like 100% without any kind of hiccup. We did have a lot of rain, but we fought through it, and today was the block party, and the weather was great. So it all went well. My little motley caching crew for this trip was Nicole, B Genius, and Danielle Murphy. She's got the crazy name, as Nicole calls it. Keyboard Smash is her GC name. It's the Ridlin Kids. Remember the 0x0? She has this weird gaming one that she uses but for us, we signed as the Three Lefties. There it is. There she's on there. She's like, shh. No, I'm spilling beans tonight, girl. I got approval. You signed. I don't know if you knew it, but you did sign an agreement this week. I don't think you noticed it, but that I can talk about all the stuff that happened at Bamarama. But no, they were great. We had a great time. Something again we'll talk about on other things, but if you can find compatible caching companions, then things go better because we had compatible plans of what we wanted to find, and it wasn't she pleads the fifth. So we skipped stuff we didn't want to do. You know how some people are like, I want to do it all. Well, like Emily and her mom, I've talked before about like going caching. There was a point where I dropped them off and I said, it's probably better if I don't slow y'all down because I'm slowing you down. And they're like, no, you're fine. It's like, no, I want y'all to go do the 100 caches that I don't want to do. And so it's best, but the good part was that Nicole and Danielle and I kind of had similar goals for the days that we were able to cache together. So if you can find somebody, Jesse and I and John, even if we've all cached together before, and we've had similar, plans. So, it's always fun. And, I love going to megas and block parties because seeing folks talking about, got to see Patty and her husband. So we had a patron breakfast, which was great to be able to see folks and to talk to them. That's one of the things, and Jesse and I've talked about before, and we'll move on here, but is to try to spend time with people when you can. And that's the good part about something like Bamarama's. I ain't in charge of anything, so I don't have to worry about trying to be, trying to work it at this, so it was, important to, if with Cache Fest, we were always doing, we were kind of needing to work, but for something like this, it's nice because, I was able to kind of sit back and enjoy being with folks and not have to, sort of be on the clock, as it were, for that. I mean, I ran into San Marcos, and I didn't want to leave. I don't want to take a lot of his time because he's kind of one of the most, he's in charge of Bamarama. So it's kind of like the vendors, like Art and Crafted, ran to Sean and Space Coast with Barb, Deb, with Dale and Barb. And again, I'm sort of conscious of their time, and so I briefly talked to them and I let them get back to work because they got it. They're trying to make a living. So anyway, it was a good time. I mean, we'll talk more. I think we'll talk more about megas. I talked at dinner with Nicole and Danielle about, well, why did you, what did you like about Bamarama? And they had some good reasons, but I think sometimes we are not able to sort of let other people know, because we've all talked about, well, Dan mentioned about ASP. He's like, I love ASP. Well, and I
hear that is incredible. Incredible.
Yeah. But you guys can articulate that. But there's times when you ask somebody about it and they're like, oh, it's great. Well, why is it great? What makes it great? And sometimes people are like, I don't know. I just love it. It's like, well, that's not convincing me that I want to go to it. Which is, so we'll talk more about that in the future. All right. Well, we're going to talk about.
Hold on. There's one last thing, and we don't have to get into it tonight. I don't know if when you were at Bamarama, did you do any labs?
I did some, yeah.
Did you notice there's an update to the lab app?
Oh, is there?
So there's been an update, and we've talked about this many times before. This was an advantage Cashly had before, and we'll keep this super short just so people can go check it out if they're out finding labs. So now I was down in Orlando this weekend, and we went by an area that had overlapping labs, right? That's always been an issue.
Which is big here.
Well,
Big.
it's not an issue anymore because in the Adventure Lab app, you can see the others, and they show up as little blue dots.
Okay.
And you can hit on that. It's like there's multiple overlapping in one area, right? It shows the ones you're working on, but it shows little blue dots for the other ones. And if you hit one of the blue dots, it'll say, do you want to switch over to this one? Never have to leave. So you can do all of them like you used to be able to do in Caching, going back and forth. You can do all of them now without having to go out and come back in and everything else.
Yeah.
So they finally added that to it, which we knew they would eventually, right? But that makes it, if you're in an area that's saturated with labs, right? Like for a mega event or whatever, it makes it 100 times easier. This wasn't a mega event. This was in the area of Disney. Obviously, as you can imagine, they're all over the place, right? But we were outside that for gymnastics competition this weekend.
Yeah.
And we're like, oh, we'll see what we can get. We didn't go into the park or anything, just what we can get in the area, the free part. Right. And they were overlapping. It was seamless. Boom, boom, boom. It was really cool.
That's so cool.
If you're doing labs, if you're one of those people that's out doing labs, there's been an update that makes it a lot easier. If you have, if you're like in a downtown area where there's 2 overlapping series, it's so hard, especially if you got a sequential one or something, to go back and forth.
Yeah, the good thing about Cache
that greatly.
Yeah, one of the things about Cache that we talked about was, and I've mentioned before on the show when we were in Longview, me and Super Nate, is we didn't ever pulled up the Adventure Lab page. We would just go from lab to lab, and we didn't. By the end, we had
to go into the lab app each time to actually do the lab. Now you don't have to do anything. It's all in the lab app. You don't have to go back to Cachely. So
that's good.
It's a huge improvement if you're ever doing more than one lab at a time. So just people get out there, play with that. We'll talk a bit more about that later. It was nice.
Yeah, there is a billion. You talk about Adventure Lab, like your New Jersey deal.
Yeah,
there's so many that I'm getting messages like this. Stages, temporary limit. Too many stages have been.
You know how to fix that though, don't you, Gary? In Cachely. So go to. I know we need to get back on our topic, right? But this is helpful. So if you're a Cachely user, you can go into Cachely, go into settings, and you can say don't show the stage, just show the initial pins.
Oh, right.
So
you don't have to look at every pin.
Yeah, it's a toggle switch, and it'll save you from that happening.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I can fix that.
So you can just see the first pin of the lab, the actual pin of the lab all around, and it won't have that error for you.
It's just insanity. But anyway.
Oh no, it's ruining the numbers. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna cry. Let's keep moving on.
It's great. I'm just saying that it's so many. It's just crazy.
I know. I love it. I think we had an actual topic for the night too, though.
Let's talk about tonight. Let's do that.
We should come up with a topic for tonight, or just ramble the whole time.
Hey, we're just here. Here in the chat.
Daniel's like, all right, we're done.
Guest. Oh wait, we have a guest. That's right.
We have a guest.
Yeah, this is not Adventure Lab talk, Mr. Memphis Mafia. May I say that?
Hey, this is an update to software. I'm trying to help the people.
Yeah,
exactly. I appreciate that. I know you're jazzed about Adventure Labs. I don't want to knock your being jazzed about them.
Hey, you know what? Christy loves them, and we're getting out caching again more than we were before, so I'll do whatever it takes.
So there it is. Quincy's like, you do have a guest tonight, right? Yes, we do.
Yeah. He's there. He's got a sign like, hey, remember me, guys?
The Truck's crew. Yes. Yeah, the Truck with us, Daniel Truckamiller. Good friend. We've had him on the show before.
Been 5 years.
Yeah, it's been a while. Yeah. Boy, it's amazing how time flies.
I didn't think it was that long.
It's been too long, but I thought about Daniel and I thought we need to have him back to talk about tools that you want to have for a couple different reasons. We're going to talk about that in a minute, but I'm going to turn it over to you and kind of start the process for us tonight of if I'm going to start from scratch, I'm at a point now where I want to start making caches, and I'm sort of new at this idea of making a cache. What are some items that you think are, essential? Well, and this is something I want you, which I will talk about essential ones, and then others that you suggest that you have, but not necessarily, required, but these are probably good to have, must haves, good to haves, and then maybe some other ones as well. So kind of take us through the process here, sir.
Now, we can skip over the first two things that everybody knows, like PVC pipe and fuse. Everybody knows you need that to start.
No.
Oh man, no.
Fuse.
No
Stop
pipe
it.
bomb.
Yeah, PVC.
Stop it.
I don't have any fuse with me. No, I think essentially, and it's real easy. The biggest tool you'll ever need is a drill. Now, and I grabbed some tools from my shop. I was going to try and work out there tonight. One, it's cold. Two, its wind is blowing, and I didn't get a good enough connection out there. So we're in the house. So
No problem.
we have a drill. This is actually an impact driver, very similar to a drill, and it doesn't have to be cordless. I have cordless tools because I'm a farmer, so we use tools all the time, everywhere. But you can do with a little bit of PVC and a drill, you can make something happen. You make a really cool, interesting cache.
Yeah,
and they're not hard. And then you just get a nice little handsaw, and like this is just a little tiny one, but this will cut through PVC beautifully.
Cool.
And wood, it'll do wood, and you could essentially easiest thing to ever build is a birdhouse. Yeah, as much as people hate them, and you start, it's better than an LPC, it's better than a guardrail cache. My wife tells me all the time when we're out caching, I am not getting out of the car for a guardrail cache. So, but we enjoy the creativity of caches, and it's really, I'm not creative. I am not a creative person. I like to go see what somebody else does, and then I take it and I modify it and make it my own. I've done that with some other caches, and my most favorited cache is one that I seen Derek make, and then I modified it to fit what I got. But really, essentially, you start out with a good drill. You can get drill bits. You can get all kinds of drill bits. You can get a Fortner's bit, which will give you a nice flat hole, or a regular spade bit, which is good for getting the big holes, and then just a regular drill bit. And I have these all at my shop, but it's really icy right now in my area, so I didn't bring them all in with me. But just a couple different drill bits, and you can do all kinds of things with it.
Cool.
And then a saw, and then your second thing to make things go a little bit better, get yourself a good circular saw.
Okay.
Now, these are easy to work with. Just always know where the blade is, and you can cut straight lines. And the biggest thing is never be in a hurry. When you're making a cache, don't rush. You don't have to hurry through it. The only deadline you have making a cache is whatever you put on yourself.
Yep.
So take the time. You build yourself a birdhouse, and this is what WV Tim started. He started with birdhouse, simplest, easiest cache. Then the modifications that you can come up with are endless. Yeah. I mean, just, and simple is almost always going to get people over the more complex, because I know I was at an event, 8 or 9 of us stood around a birdhouse cache, trying to figure out how to get into the padlock on the bottom, and the door just popped open. It was just a fake front. And we're cachers who have, like, between the group of us, we probably had 100,000 finds. Right. It wasn't, it was crazy. And simple, clever. Just a simple, clever, and there's 100 different ways to put your own taste on something, your own twist on something, and the more skilled you get, the better your tools will get. If you want to do some really fancy things, this is an old jigsaw. And this is really nice for cutting holes or cutting designs. And, this thing is.
I have that exact one.
Oh, goodness.
And my dogs are barking.
The good puppy dog is excited about you there.
But, sorry.
Something going on there
out here. So Murray,
oh man,
he's a new dog to us, so he's only been here about a month or two.
Oh wow!
And so he's figuring things out. And
it's
a really, really windy tonight, so there's banging going on outside.
That right,
sure.
He just wants to be a part of the podcast.
Exactly. We want to be on the podcast. I remember when Jesse,
you bring that up, and actually, I was just thinking, like, birdhouse. Why don't more people do like dog houses for geocaches?
There you go.
That would be a size large for sure.
It'd be a large. Yeah. One of the things too, if I get you to mention going back to the PVC pipe, one of the ones that we've maybe not. Well, I think many people have
Oh,
found.
look, there he is. Doggy's
Yep.
showing up. Oh, he's almost there.
Yeah,
Come here, buddy.
Come here.
Be on the show. You can be on the show.
Oh, he's gonna walk around
No.
me. Come on.
Oh,
Oh, man.
Hodeg's found one. That's really cool.
That is
Nice
so
job.
cool, Happy Hodag.
Yeah, it reminds me of before we do that. There you go. There you are. Hey, buddy.
yeah.
Oh,
Hey, buddy.
Murray. Yeah,
What's his name?
Murray.
Murray.
Wow.
Hey,
Hey,
Murray.
Murray.
This is
Murray, how are you, buddy? Hi,
he's a little-
Murray. Hey,
He's
Murray.
like, where's that coming from?
It's like I hear him.
Hey,
Yes,
buddy.
voices.
this is like some days, guys. I think we need Geo Dog Talk. You know,
That's right. That's
I
right.
think we really do.
There
How
you
many
are.
Geocache with
Oh,
dogs?
Jesse's got his. How's your dog now, Jesse? It's got to be a couple
Nice.
years now.
Almost 4 years old now.
4. Dang, golly. I
Yeah.
remember maybe he was a pup.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
I
awesome.
consider him a puppy still. He's still a puppy.
Still, yeah. But the cache that that we talked about before on the show 5 years ago, but it's well, you can talk about it. The spring one at the bottom where you can have the cache shoot out the top. I mean, again, I'm a kid, so I think this is.
I love them.
Those
I'm
are
always-
great every time. Every single time.
Yeah,
I don't have a sample one of that with me tonight, but
we'll just talk about it though.
yeah, PVC is nice because it's it's an easy medium to work with. You
Yeah.
got a hacksaw and some glue, and you can do all kinds of things with a PVC. This is like if you want to do a marble cache. This is simple.
Yes,
It's a couple caps.
we found
Yeah.
one this weekend.
These are 90-degree conduits.
Yeah.
You just get a joiner and you glue them together, and
Through there, yep.
there you go. You got the basis of a marble cache. So you just
That
stick
was
the marbles in
the
through here.
very first birdhouse cache ever built was marble cache.
Yeah, and it's
I promise you, they're not hard to do.
no. Well, this you can do with anything. You can put it anywhere. You can just go paste this on a post like this, and the
Yeah, you
horns
could.
of the bull.
Oh,
Just
nice.
the creative of a name. The names are almost get as many favorite points sometimes as the cache as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
Especially if you take them to some place where it's kind of neat to see.
Yeah.
You know?
We did something different on the one we found this weekend. Was instead of I've seen them with that where they bury the bison tube inside with the marbles.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if you do this one did something interesting. They had 2 bingo balls because the bingo had it will have B26 or
Mhm.
There you go.
but anyway, and they had 2 bingo balls and the numbers on those bingo ball that was the code to the
lock.
lock.
That's great.
And if we were not goofing around, the 3 of us, and we've been paying attention, we found the 2 pieces, and we're still poor Nicole's still pulling. She's pulling marbles constantly, and finally, I'm holding the 2. I'm like, hey, I think we got the numbers right here. Yes, that's what Nicole said. It was marbles,
And that's just a
Oh,
clever
nice.
twist on something else. And
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
somebody come up with it.
it's a nice
Yeah.
twist for sure.
Like
Here's
this
the thing with
cashier-
that. So that marble cache, if you go to that cache and you don't favorite it, I really don't understand where you're caching.
I don't either.
Right? Like, where do you cache that is below normal for you? Because those
Yeah.
are fun. That's
Well, if
every
you go to
single
Glacier
cache.
Pools Preserve up in Picture Rocks, PA, that would be a lame cache there because all the rest of them are all pretty good.
Well, they're lucky. So
It's not a lot.
There's only about 10 of them up there, and they're all mine. So that's
It's
But
got
like
a lot
this
of
one.
favorites, and and I had to, yeah, that's for another show. But I did steal from another cache that was archived.
oh,
which-
Gary, you sinner.
I know it's terrible, but I wanted to give that thing because it was so much fun. I mean, we found a lot of really great ones this time. But anyway, go ahead. You're going to show another one too.
yeah. The advantage of those of us that have the opportunity to travel,
Yeah.
you want to make your area better. go out, see what everybody else does. Like WV Tim caches are about 3 hours or 2 hours for me. So I've done them all. We pick a weekend. We always go down, especially after a new coin, we go down there. I had kids that were living out west and down in Phoenix. So go visit the kids, you stop and do some caches on the way. And my wife is not a long distance traveler. She's got about a 2 hour butt, and then she's got to get out and walk or do something.
Yeah.
So
I can hear you there.
So, and so caches are a great travel guide. My wife is huge into history. We'll spend days doing history research, and she writes a blog on history. So geocaching just goes hand in hand with it because it gives me something to do while she's researching. But like this one, this is called a ship in a bottle. You see the cache there in the hole. I don't know if I can. I got to play with
it. Oh yeah, we see it.
Yep. There we go. I was like mess it all up here. I was like figure out, and there's the caches in there. Well, see, that's the red herring. The idea is you go up there, you see that. Well, how do you get it out of there? Because this is
how do you get it out of there?
Because this is screwed fast to a post like this, and you got these bolts, and people will spend hours. And the cache itself is actually a bison tube. Oh, I had it actually upside down. That's the thing, is it just magnetically is attached in there. And so it's there, you just got to pull it out. And it's just reach up underneath and because there's usually 2 nails here. And that's it. And it's just a simple twist on somebody else's idea.
That's good.
And that's all. All you need to do that is a drill and a piece of PVC pipe.
Yeah, that's
a great cache.
This is another one.
Those are great. I mean, like, if you don't favorite these caches, I really don't understand what you're doing.
This is a sword and a stone cache.
Oh, yeah.
It's a PVC pipe with a maze.
Oh, yeah, sword and the stone.
And now, I used a router to cut these grooves in. You just took a pen or pencil and or marker and draw your, so you don't get too flimsy. But, or you can do that with a drill bit if you just take your time. Because there's drill bits that you can run on a router or run that will work if you just, and that's not expensive. The biggest thing with people toys, power tools are so expensive. Yard sales.
No, that's true.
Harbor Freight. You don't have to have Milwaukee or DeWalt or any of those because they're not going to, I mean, like I said, I have them. My son's a lineman. I'm a farmer. We have big tools because we use big tools a lot. If you're a wood craftsman, this stuff that I'm talking about is so simple to you, and you have all these tools. But a table saw, I bought my table saw for $35.
Oh,
it's a small 10-inch one. It's beautiful for making straight cuts, or making slats, or whatever I need to do with it. A scroll saw, which is if you want to do really nice work, is it's a desk mount, so it mounts on the top of the table, and you just can work things and you can do nicer than a jigsaw. But a jigsaw will do the same thing if you just take your time. Just be a little slow about it. Learn, practice a little bit. Those things make things go so much easier.
Yep, absolutely.
But, and a good old miter box. And this will help you do straight lines, especially even if you're cutting PVC or wood. Both these are really, really good.
No, miter box, good idea.
Those are cheap and they'll last forever.
I bought this 30 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 30 years ago. I've been married for 32 years. And this is like in the first 2 years that we were married, I had to buy that because we were moving into our first house.
Oh, that's perfect.
But then another tool, an underlooked tool is a hot glue gun. You don't think about it.
Good to use.
This is pine cone. Somebody had I bought this and it's just drilled a hole and put a little there and there. And it's a decent container if you got it dry. I actually bought this one on eBay because I thought, that's pretty cool. And when somebody took some time and took a pine, it's just got a good cap. And this thing, I bought 2 of them. The one I had out lasted about 3 years, which is really good for a cache.
That's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But one of the, and tools get really, really easy. My favorite tool for making geocaches, 3D printer.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
that is
Oh, yeah.
awesome.
You can't, you got 3 pine cones here, and
Yeah,
they're just,
they're all, yeah, exactly.
I
Oh,
love
man.
my 3D printer for this. This is just a nice little piece. And these are fairly watertight too. This is just, we can talk 3D printers, get bounce on here. We can talk 3D printers all night long.
No, I
But
understand.
that's just, you just put a bison tube in there and
Yeah.
it stays dry forever because this hangs upside down.
Exactly.
I put a cup hook right there and bang, it'll hang up there. Easy to go, easy to hide. You can do these.
You've had your 3D printer now for a while, because I remember you've had one for years now. Are you still have the same one, or did you?
It's actually the same one. I have not used it as very hard in the last year or two.
Right.
I've just been we've been busy. My son I own a farm, and most of the time we've rented out my farm, and but my son wants the farm.
Yeah.
Which means I'm farming a lot more than I planned on it.
Sure, I understand.
Like I said, he works. He's a lineman, and we wanted to build this and keep this in our family for the next generation.
Yeah.
And when I say next generation, I'm referring to his kids or my grandkids, and not my. So that's taken some time out of my life. So
Sure.
I enjoy working with cows. I love raising cows. It's fun to have. We have goats. We have llamas.
Oh, cool. Llamas. That's awesome.
Old McDonald's farm. Seriously. My wife has a Noah's Ark complex. You can't have just one. You have to have 2. Everything has to be 2. So,
but before we move on, real quick, and we can put it in the show notes if you want to send it to later. But do you remember is it Ender? What's the brand that you got for your?
I have an Ender 3 Pro.
Okay.
Pro, but the Ender 3 is a real simple, easy to. There's a ton, and that was like, even now they're like right around $200 for a good 3D printer, and like what I bought now is like $100. But they come now with all the upgrades that I've done to them.
You're right.
If you look around for sales, and it's
not too bad. I mean,
no, it's
step up.
They've come way down.
Oh, it's the quality of them have gone way up. The availability has come way down. As far as being able to find them, you can find them anywhere.
And if somebody's not sold on getting one yet, most public libraries, if they're bigger, have access to them.
Oh, yeah.
You have a library card, and they have for years. You can go in with your prints that you got off Thingiverse or whatever else, and you can print one out. And I think they charge basically for the plastic, which is nothing. Basically. So
I have
just to think, if you're doing all that 3D printing too, and you're saving all that money on buying all those cool cache containers and printing them on your own, I mean, you're probably buying a 3D printer right there,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Ender 3 Amateur Geocache says Ender 3 is a highly customizable workhorse at a great price. It's only recently been dethroned on the best start printer.
Yeah, there's some newer ones out there that I haven't kept up with it quite as much, but a little bit of research. I was just saying that I have a Facebook group for 3D printing for geocaching. Look it up on Facebook. I'm sure I'll get a bunch of new.
We put in there. I'm in that group. Yeah, so I'll put it I'll put it in the show notes too. Daniel,
it's kind of a little quiet right now, but you come in and you ask a question, and there's quite a few people that are willing to answer. And some really neat stuff, and it's always good. It's always good to hear somebody's idea or what they're looking for. And I am not a person who's going to give you a hard time about what printer you use, because I got what I got because it was recommended to me by my nephew. Right. And I figured, well, if there's anybody if he's going to recommend it to me, he's also my tech support.
There you go. Perfect.
So you got somebody who's going to help. Here, like another PVC cache, real simple. That one. Just glue them together. Couple pieces. And what's interesting, you open the valve.
Yep.
And then
comes out.
I got a nano in there.
Yeah.
And there's no metal in here, so it just pops right back in.
Yep.
You just shut the valve, and it's going to give me a hard time right now, because it always does.
Perfect.
And there it stays in there, and it's lock tight dry. You don't have to worry about it getting wet, which is everybody's worst thing about geocaching is a wet log.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And the best thing too sometimes about those is where you put them strategically, it just sort of blends in. It looks like it's supposed to have been there. So
Yeah.
You
I think they outlawed the sprinkler head ones.
yeah,
Get them, but
yeah.
They do, but if you need one, I still got a couple. So I'm your
I've
guy.
got one or two around too. I haven't put out. I was talking with John earlier about a friend of mine, a local cacher here, passed away about 3 or 4 years ago.
Right.
And his wife reached out to me and said, "Hey, I have some of his stuff left over." And I says, "I know you two always were racing each other to first to find, so I think he would like you to have it."
Oh, nice.
I am truly appreciative. I went. I thought, no, it'd be a box or two. I think I got 6 or 7 ammo cans, 4 or 5 grocery size bags of caches. I got a 1 gallon bag of just bison tubes. I'm like, I've got all these cache stuff that so I'm like, anybody who needs caches or you want to find, reach out to me. I'll help you out a little bit.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And all kinds of the thermometer caches and the old hide keys, all the hundreds of hide keys.
Sounds like you need to make a big box of patience cache. Dump them all in one
There you
box.
go.
All go in one of them. It closes up, and then they have to go through all of them to get to it.
Too many people know where I live.
Yeah. No, you should totally do that though. Do like that faucet mechanism, but have the pipe go vertical like 20 feet, and they do that, and all those bison tubes just come out as
Falling out.
Pouring out.
I mean, who wouldn't love that? Come on.
It'd be great for the first person because then the rest, nobody else would put them back.
That's right.
They still be there.
Yeah. I found the one that Bounce has done before, and it's not as difficult as you think we've talked about before, but it's PVC, and then inside of the PVC you put in 20 feet of plastic chain, and then and you start pulling. It's like it seems like it goes forever, but it's really not that bad. It just seems.
I think it's closer to 100 feet.
100 feet, not 20 feet. 100 feet.
It's a long chain, and it's a
But the 100 feet does collapse down into a small little.
It would fit in a container very similar to this.
Oh, there you go. Look at that thing.
These are called a monkey cache.
Yes, I've done a monkey cache before. Yes.
It's you got 2 different, and this is like a super complex cache that we'll spend hours on, but it's really just some saw and some glue.
Yeah.
You got to get the key from the disc chamber over here over to this chamber. Actually, I'm doing it backwards, but you move the key, and then that'll unlock the padlock once you get it out.
Perfect.
And mine's pretty simple. I just put a bison tube in the top, which I think is missing. Nope, it's still there.
Excellent.
So,
that's a good one. There's plans for that. I've seen those, but that's
I seen a TikTok the other day. Somebody did a magnet cache and just a simple piece of pipe he did it. It was revolutionary to me because I always put like a nut on there to help pull on.
Yeah.
The one that I seen, this was magnetic here.
Magnetic, okay.
And this was the metal that you pulled up.
Oh, okay.
It actually worked really well.
I follow you. Okay.
So he reversed the way you build it.
Right.
I'm gonna have to give that a try.
Yeah.
Because it was.
So back to the monkey cache though, you would only what all tool wise you need? You need the
hacksaw and a drill. I used the drill press to get a straighter drill through.
Yeah.
And you go think drill presses are expensive. I have 2. I have one of the big tall ones.
Yeah.
But I also have one that's just a tabletop. I bought that one used for like $30.
Yeah.
It's not expensive. It's not a lot of money to put into something that you can use to I use it. I can put a sander belt on it and it'll sand with a drum. There's some things you can buy. The attachments for these things are incredible.
That is cool.
But it's really easy to build on a cache. And if you build with, like I said, you start out with a drill and some way to saw, a hacksaw, coping saw, even a big hand saw just to cut your lumber down, and you can get it done without a whole lot of money.
Sure. One thing we were talking about too before the show, and this made me think of that when you're talking about the drill press, because again, like you said, you can buy them at pretty much any hardware store. You can get a decent, like I have one that's just a tabletop drill press. But one of the things that is really good about them is if you want to make other than cache containers, what if folks wanted to make a geocoin container or a path tag container? What are some tools that you think you would want to do? I mean, obviously you need the materials, you need the wood and whatever you want to make, but what are some materials you'd want to use to make a path tag holder, for example? We'll use that as an example.
Again, it goes to how fancy do you want to be?
Sure.
Before I had a router, I used to just use my sander and just sand the edges around like a block and just give it just a softer edge.
Right.
And so that way you can do it. And then you take a Forstner bit, which would be a flat bit. It drills a nice flat hole versus a spade bit, which will work too. A spade bit will do what you want. It just is going to give you a little rougher edge.
Right.
But the hole that's drilled in there by that Forstner bit or your spade bit, you put a little bit of glue there and you put a magnet in that hole, and that gives you a nice flush spot to put your path tag in. Your path tags are all metal. Most of them will stick right in there and you won't have any problems. Then you can cut that to any shape or design that you want. You could do it in the shape of your state. You can do it in the shape of the geocaching logo. You can do, and it's just about, and then we were talking about, you can dress things up with a Cricut machine. Crickets are just one of those. I think, this is a Cricut. My wife did this with a Cricut. My sign is Cricut. She finaled it, and that's, and with if you want to do the path tag board, you need a drill. A drill press is easier because you can control your depth. A Forstner bit to the size of your path tag, or even the size of your coins if you want to do them. They get a little bit more difficult because they're not always as magnetic as a path tag is. But you could still do that and then put a piece of plexiglass over top of it to hold it flush, smooth, and that way you got all your coins displayed without having to and that plexiglass is easy to work with. It's something that you could drill 4 corners, do your pilot holes. And that's the big thing with I didn't mention, like working with birdhouses, drill a pilot hole, which is you take a small drill bit you have and drill a hole before you run a screw in. And that way that keeps that wood from splitting. And also, if you really want to get serious, you put some glue around it and glue around your, and I like Torx screws versus Phillips
standard screw.
This is a Torx bit, that little star bit. Most people don't carry these in their pocket. I carry a Leatherman all the time, which gives me a Phillips head screwdriver in my pocket all the time. Sure. So if I really, really wanted to get into something that was made out of Phillips, you could. And I strongly discourage that. Please don't destroy somebody's cache. DNF it if you have. Call phone a friend. Don't destroy a cache that somebody put some time into it, especially you get up to a wooden one. Like, if you didn't get into it, you couldn't figure it out, come back another day. If you're only there that day, take the loss, DNF it. Maybe you'll, some generous cache owners may say, "Oh yeah, you were this close,"
right?
So, and or they'll send you a video of it, and I've helped people. I like to watch. I have two driveways into my farm, and at each end of my driveway I have geocaches. Both of them are gadget caches, and I was, it's neat to see somebody stand there for 20 minutes trying to figure it out. It's like, yes, that, because I know I'm getting a favorite point then because it was so
exactly. That's great. One thing too, we were talking, before the as part of this too is seek out go try to find some caches that take a look at some of the pages and look for potential ideas. You can always you don't have to. I would you can copy you can copy what other people do typically, but I mean just get some
inspiration.
Some inspiration from seeing somebody else, like you said. There's caches out there that that's one thing that if anybody ever does come to Bamarama, there are a lot of creative caches and gadget caches in this area. And I know Nicole mentioned earlier, she said, here's her comment was between Florida's block party, which I know, Jesse, you got to go to the block party.
There's some good caches there. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. In Bamarama, I'm definitely inspired to make some awesome caches. And that's always helpful too, is, you can really get some great ideas. Obviously watching our show, you'll get some creative ideas, but also get out and find some of these. And so that's always helpful too. So,
and it's okay to copy. It really is. Put your twist on it if you want to, but even if you don't, just copy it. If you saw it somewhere else and you thought it was cool, the people in your area probably do too. Bring it there. It may inspire somebody to do something else, so.
It's that creative I think the biggest thing about geocaching is the hive mind of geocaching. How people interact with each other, and you see something and you see, oh, that was really cool. And then you take it and you develop it a little bit further. Then the next guy finds that and goes, oh, I can do that one just a little bit differently, or this is my take on this spin on it.
Right.
And the only thing I would suggest, if you find a really cool cache, hide it at least 50 miles away from where you found it.
Yeah, really.
I actually found a really cool cache locally, and I asked the guy, I said, hey, can I mimic that? And he's like, sure. And I was about 30 miles difference, so somebody wouldn't have find it. But then he archived his like 2 months after I put mine out.
Right.
And I have a couple of the same ones out in different locations because, I don't know how urban caching, where you live in the cities, you don't travel as much, you tend to get a lot close by. It's nothing for me to travel. I mean, like my clear grid is probably about 50 miles.
Sure.
In my house. So, I've got I've actually haven't cached much in the last year. So they're actually finally getting some new ones in the area that I can go after and spend a day locally caching, but like go to events,
You don't have to do the most creative thing in the world. If you've never hit anything, and like we kind of joke now, birdhouse caches have become more common. Like when they first came out, those were the coolest things ever, right? Now there's a bunch more of them and people are not as impressed as they used to be, but it's still awesome. And if that's the edge of your skill level, still put it out. You're providing a more creative cache than you've ever done before. That's still, if that's as far as you feel like you can go, do it. You'll feel proud of it. Other people will be inspired by it and keep going.
And this is just a simple baseball drill. Put a plastic in there. These are
carefully.
I keep forgetting
drill a hole, but carefully, don't hurt yourself.
Yeah, I mean, this, like I said, I used the drill press with it. I actually used a vise with this to hold the ball. Yep. And I used a regular hand drill, and it wasn't, just be careful. Like I said, never be in a hurry. Always pay attention. I strongly recommend wearing safety glasses. That way you still have your eyes. Probably an important thing to, especially when you're working with wood. If you're working with a table saw, use your push bars. It's more fun caching with 10 fingers than with 8.
Yep.
So, you only have 2 eyes. No replacement. So.
It's hard to find a cache when you can't see very well.
Yeah, exactly.
Like in the simplest things, like you can find what people do, and I'm a big fan of taking critters and strapping a bison tube to them or something. And you can tell a story on a trail. You can tell, like I have a nursery rhyme trail. and it's kind of got different things and kind of some things like Little Miss Muffet and
Right. Three
and
blind
there's one
mice.
that's got just a real simple cache, and it's I call it a squirrel tree cache because every time we walk on that trail, there's squirrels on that tree.
Right.
And then I have a Billy Goat Scruff cache, which you can actually get from the top of the bridge. You reach under, and it's a little resin printed troll attached to one of those keychains.
Cool.
And this goes back underneath the bridge, so you got the troll under the bridge.
That's perfect.
And that's
Love it.
just a little bit of fun. Kids love them.
Yeah.
That's when you really want to build your area, get the kids. Get the kids that want to do it. Make the caches fun for kids.
Yep.
And then you throw in a couple there that really lead to your adults, and you're going to have happy families. You're going to have more people coming out. You're going to get more favorite points. You're going to get more conversation. And that's how you build your area, is by being, because like I said, I was talking with John earlier. Central PA used to be a really, really big caching area. It was nothing for somebody to publish 5 or 6 caches, and you'd have many events at almost each one of them because everybody's trying to get the first to find.
Perfect. No, that we've talked, and this was Jesse was saying earlier too, is just the fact that take just a little bit of extra time. Doesn't take much, but make the cache a little bit more creative than just throwing a pill bottle under a tree.
Yeah.
Do something different. Up your game a little bit. It doesn't take a lot. Like you said tonight, a drill and a piece of PVC and a drill, and you've got a cache. It's
just any bit of take that cricket and put you a sticker on that pill bottle at least. Make something fun to it. Do anything and do something.
Yeah.
And what little you do, whether you're using a drill, a cricket or 3D printer, everybody else in the area is going to go, oh, I like that. I'm going to do that or more. And you build your area up like he's talking about. Just build that area up, and then you get to find better and better caches all the time, and it makes the game so much more fun. If the only thing you ever do is throw a pill bottle under a lamp skirt, that's the only thing you're ever going to find.
right.
Everybody else is going to see the same thing and go, okay, that's all it takes. That's all people want around here.
Yeah. Yeah. And I seen in the comment there where somebody said hold an event with free raffles. I've had several events where I've taken a lot of these caches that I've gotten for free from this guy, and I give them away. Anybody shows up gets one.
That's really cool.
Take one. And the only thing that I ask is if you hide it in memory, drop somewhere in your description, rather, thanks to two tenderfoot, and as a cacher, and just a quick, and that's how he lives on.
No, that's good.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I love it.
I've lost quite a few friends that have been caching over the years.
Right.
Some of you know them, and some of you don't.
No, that's perfect.
But and this is where I made some of my best friends is through geocaching.
Oh yeah.
It's crazy the people that you have in a peripheral of your life, you think, and then you realize that they're not. They're now part of your family, your inner circle of people that you contact, and you may not even see them except for 2-3 times a year. So,
no, you're right.
So true.
And a plug. Why I like ASPGB?
Yes,
Night caches. They have
night caches.
Yes, and the best night caches up there.
See, that's great.
I can't wait to go. You're totally selling me on it. Love night cache.
Got to go.
Love it.
And if you have, you need to also really have really good people to cache with. Instead of what these two crazy women are doing, they're sending me this.
Well, that's me.
Trying to do a show here, and these two crazy women are sending me these distraction things.
Is that a spinning lobster, Gary?
It's a spinning lobster.
I love it.
Is there an inside joke on that one? Did you encounter a spinning lobster? Have a lobster?
What happens in Bamarama stays in Bama.
And you said earlier you signed a paper and it was a free game.
That's right.
Now,
this,
anyway. I would say too, I want to kind of piggyback on that, but having cachers to cache with is awesome. Obviously, that goes without saying. Yeah. But I think the same thing applies to what we're talking about tonight. having a buddy that you can help bounce ideas off of when you want to get creative, or that may have more skill than you, or that is there to, take you to the hospital when you cut your fingers off. It's always good to have like that to bounce ideas, especially if this is new to you and you're not super crafty and stuff like that. Get somebody else, have one of your buddies go, hey, let's get together and let's see if we can figure this cache out. You need a beta tester anyway, right? So it's not a bad idea to do. And it makes it that much more fun because, you spark those ideas off each other and then you get great caches out there.
Well, yeah. John, what inspired you to do the one you did for Cache Odyssey New York? Tell people real quick. I mean, I guess I don't want to spoil it. I guess never mind this bit. In a general sense, don't spill the beans. But I mean, in a general sense,
beans while you're at it.
No. It's in my contract, Daniel. I can't spill beans unless 2/3 of the 3 amigos here agree on the spilling of said beans.
Yeah, no spillage. No spillage. I vote no spillage.
Yep, I vote no.
Okay, so I'm not spilling it. But I want to put out a comment here, Gary, on kind of your question related to this. I'm not spilling the beans on the Cache Odyssey, but I think for all cachers like in our community, don't hesitate. Like if you're not like a gadget cache builder, an elaborate cache builder, feel free to reach out and connect with people.
Absolutely.
I'll give a big shout out to Chad Bounce because like the amount of times like I'll send something to Chad in one time. And I don't know how many people saw the Gadget Talk episodes for the Sasquatch monitoring station. I was like, I saw in the newspaper, like on our news station, like up in Buffalo, they did a video story of like Sasquatch spottings on one of our trails. And I'm like, Chad, check this out. And he goes, how cool would it be to build a gadget cache based upon that? And I'm like a trail camera, like a Sasquatch monitoring station. He goes, oh, that's cool. He's like, yeah, that's awesome. And then we just started like riffing off each other and building on it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I'm like, hey, check this out. So it's just one of those things for people. Like, don't hesitate to reach out to people in the community because a lot of cool things can happen on that one for sure.
And gadget cache, not everybody has to build a gadget cache, right? You can be creative without building a gadget cache, but a little bit of effort maybe, because you got to think about it. There's so many new people coming to the game every day, right? The odds of them finding a gadget cache for the first one is pretty small, but the more creative caches we put out there, the more chance that's going to be their first couple of caches they find. That's going to keep that cacher that may be a great friend down the road. If everything they find is just a pill bottle under a lamp skirt,
then that's all they're going to do.
Lose a lot of people quickly, or we're only going to get the people that think that's the game they want to play, which is not the game we want to play. So, it's the more creative stuff you do, the more great people are going to bring to the game, and the more it's going to up the game all the time. And do what's within your limits. Just keep stepping it up a little bit, and that's going to make it so much more fun for you.
Absolutely.
You're exactly right. And Daniel, you mentioned this before too, is that you're sadly, or not necessarily, well, it can be sad, but it could be really great. But you hide what you find. And hopefully you're finding good. If you find good stuff, hopefully you're going to hide good stuff. But sadly, so many people will they'll mimic what they see. And so many times it's a pill bottle under a tree.
Yeah, they're not seeing a lot. Yeah.
They're not seeing good stuff.
Yeah.
So, all right, we're getting toward the end tonight. So I guess what we probably should do is take a moment, go around, stop. God, look, it's what I'm dealing with. You're constant. All right, I'm turning it off because it's just.
You can always face that phone face down, right?
Face down for you. I'm done.
Gary's squirrel factor tonight is very high, I must say.
My squirrel factor is way too. Just too much.
I'll go around because I want to, of course, leave it last to our guest. But what you just said made me think of this, and I'm a prime example of first cache I ever found was a lamppost cache. It was terrible. I couldn't even convince my wife and family to go caching after that. It was 619 days before I found cache number 2. And I almost never got into caching.
That's true.
That would have been extremely sad for me because I love the game, obviously. I'm one of the committed people to the game. I love it. But But it was because that first cache was so lackluster. I was like, I couldn't even sell it to the rest of my family to go do this. We only by chance, because we moved and had nothing to do one day, happened to get back into the game a couple years later. But I could have easily never had this hobby. And that's terrible because this is 15 years later and I love it. You know, I mean, I love the game and it's new for me all the time. And I've spread it to all my family and stuff. But because I entered the game that way, I almost did not.
Right.
How many people do that?
And for me, we were introduced by our Scoutmaster, and like I said, this is in June of 2006. This game was really new, and it was a multi-cache, you know. So it was like, and like GPS, like I never used a GPS, I had no clue. And there's a group of kids, and we're out there with, our Scoutmaster. He's showing you this, and we're doing the walk through the woods and the paths, and it's a 3-stage. And I'm like, oh, that was really cool. The boys had fun doing it. So like, I think it was like 3 months till we actually got our own GPS and we actually went out and found our own. But, this is back when you used to have the Trapper Keeper with all the papers and, you had the written directions and, the handheld GPS. And boy, I tell you, I spent a lot of time on back roads that I didn't know existed and it'd still be a quarter of a mile away. And it was Pennsylvania's not flat.
Right.
And,
they kept you going.
I love the GPS on the phone and with the
come on.
Yes.
My only complaint with this is people, please put parking. If you got a cache that's in a uncertain area,
parking of it,
please parking coordinates, please. Yeah. I know for your locals that's not necessary, and I know somebody commented one time says, "Well, that just adds to the fun of the cache." I'm most likely not going to do it if I can't go in and see someplace where I can safely park.
Yeah,
I'm with you. I need parking.
Doesn't that just raise the difficulty though? If you put like a fake parking location,
yeah. Don't give them ideas.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
No, hey, I'm on the same with you though. Christy and I'll go out caching, and if there's not like either a parking location put there or it doesn't look like a safe place to park, she won't even let us stop. She's like, "No, we're not doing this one."
Yeah,
I'm like,
we need that.
Okay, that's not where the argument. I'm going to keep going. She's like, they should have a safe place to stop because kids play the game, and and if you're doing a dangerous cache, that's one thing, but like a regular average cache.
Or be very
specific. Like hang off the side of a bridge to get it,
and simply like, hey, I am not putting parking coordinates because that's part of the difficulty of this cache is that you have to locate that. Put that in the description.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
yeah, true.
And I get that because then I'm like, all right, now this is part of the challenge of the cache because you want to up the level of the difficulty without, maybe you live in a flatter area or something like that, but where it's an area where there's a lot of like urban areas are really like semi-urban areas or where you get in trouble.
Right.
Yeah. You don't want to park somewhere and somebody get a ticket.
Right.
Or get in trouble or park on private property and then the owners out there hollering at you because this was the only,
Yeah.
Well, I gotta add too on that one because parking pet peeves. I got to jump in on this one because
open a can of worms.
No. So it's like one of those things, right? Like I help out with trails and stuff like that, and it's like I have a cache where like I put on parking coordinates, and somebody said, "Hey, there's a closer spot to park," and I said I did not list that because that's not a safe spot to park.
Yeah, exactly.
So if you're looking at a spot and you're looking at a map, and somebody put on parking coordinates, they probably know that's a safer spot to park than others. So just something to think about.
Put that in your description, John. Can't you? I'm sorry. Can't you put that in the description too? Like, this is the safe place to park. I mean,
absolutely.
Yeah, but people will put it in their cache logs. Like, here's a closer place to park. I parked it. Whatever.
I know.
Like, no, don't do that.
No, don't do that.
Right, and that's the one. Sometimes it's like a cache owner. You got to put a note
cache
in
like
there.
that one time where I chose a better place to park.
Better. Right.
I went straight up a mountain to cut off about 3 mile hike.
That's like hiding it in a better location than the owner. Like, I know he had it here, but this is way better.
Well,
I had a rental car. I didn't care.
There you go.
Well, Jim brings up a good point because Jim uses a walker, and he's right. He said, being disabled, being unable to protect myself as I once could, I will only pass. So,
Yeah,
we have to, this is what we talk about with Cache Odyssey. And thank you, Jim. And, that's one of the things we talked about is one of the many reasons, but one of the reasons for Cache Odyssey was we got to think about people that don't have, or have some accessibility possibilities that they've got. We got to factor these things in when we're hiding caches. So
yeah,
absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Key, very key. All right, so we wrap up. Yes, I put my phone away because the crazy women are still sending me stuff because they're just snickering and having a great time.
And you get distracted too easy. That's why.
Yes, they got me. But so my final thing was that gadget caches are fun, and we need to do as many, and not only just as gadgets, but even creative.
Creative.
I'm a huge fan of the creative, like you said, like the pinball one where you pull the thing down and the thing shoots off the top. Simple, like you said, Dan. It's really simple to make, but it's still great fun. We found one, and I won't fully spill the beans on it, but there was more stages than I would ever think would be. And when it was all said and done, and we got it was just like I said, it's a tube thing. It was at a vet clinic, and when you stop and when you get all the parts out, you're like, this isn't that difficult to make, but how awesome was it that we had to do these extra steps?
Yeah.
With just some simple materials.
Yeah.
And they're just perfect. I definitely want to make that one that we did. But again, it was great fun with the crazy women. So anyway, what are some things for y'all that to wrap up tonight?
I got to add something, Gary, on this one because
yep.
Some people may like creative caches. Some people may like gadgets on this one. Definitely I got to say as a closing thought on here, feel creative, just because, and we mentioned if you saw a cache, you can be inspired by it. But if you haven't seen a cache and you have a unique idea, go for it as well too. Put it out there. I think we all love as geocachers when we see something we're like, we never saw it, that, something like that done in that way. So, think of those things. But if you do like gadgets as well too, the next Gadget Talk will be on February 25th.
Oh, look at you.
Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern.
Nice.
So Bounce and myself will be on Gadget Talk, and we'll be talking about directional lock puzzles. So there you go.
Wow. What a perfect segue.
That was pro level right there.
That was professional. Jesse, you want to go next? We'll let Dan go last, I guess.
I've kind of already hit mine, but I'll just say that like creativity doesn't need to be extreme. Go to your level and just push a little beyond that, and you will change the game for the better.
Awesome. Daniel?
Yeah, just the biggest thing is make it fun. Just have fun with it. If it's something that tickles your fancy or you thought was clever, and even if nobody else likes it, put it out there. You'll be surprised. You're going to find that person who has that same sense of humor, that same sense of wonder that you have. And so just do something that you like, that you really enjoyed. And because it shows caches that you put out that you liked. And another hand, if you want to get a lot of favorites on a cache, host an event nearby. Like 2 or 3 caches, host an event kind of a couple weeks after, so people got a chance to get their first finds.
Yeah.
And then just, you'll be surprised,
cool.
And people show up, they check and they feel obligated to give a favorite cache, especially if you provide food. You don't be above bribing people to get favorite points.
No, you're great. Yeah. Well, awesome. Well, we're thank you so much, my friend. We'll we'll definitely want to do it more often than every 5 years. So we'll need to up the frequency on that. And but thank you again for coming on and giving some great ideas and giving some good basic tool etiquette and tips and tricks. So that was great. So all right, and we'll guess that'll wrap up tonight. And when's Gadget Talks Tuesday?
No, Gadget Talk is on not this Tuesday, but the following Tuesday. So it is on February 25th at 6 p.m.
Oh, gotcha. 25th. Okay, good. Yeah, I appreciate you reminding me of the date there, the time. That's perfect. All right. Awesome. Thanks. There you go. Way to go, Daniel. And we'll see everybody next time. Good night, everybody.
Good night. Thank you very much.
Oh, absolutely.
May your finds be many and your DNFs be few. May the terrain and difficulty both be less than 2. And whatever it is you're looking for, may it find its way to you. And may we all meet again.
Folks, we hope you've enjoyed the show tonight. Please email us your comment at geocachetalk@gmail.com. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. The show can be found on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Radio Public, or Spotify, as well as at the Geocache Talk website. Don't forget to click that subscribe button below and ring that bell notification so that you can see and hear the show on a weekly basis. And tell your friends about the show. Get them involved with us in the chat room. And until next week, don't just talk about geocaching, go geocaching.